All right. It is Sunday, February 9th, 2025. It's been a long time since I put a video up, but it's for good reason. So my wife had a pretty big surgery, and she's better now, but it's been a couple of weeks now. But she's still got a couple more weeks ahead of her for to be good to go. Anyway, so I haven't been able to come out and, do a whole bunch of work because I have to take care of her. I had to help her up and down and that type of stuff. It's just a little bit more work. So I took a couple weeks off and stayed in with her. Anyway, so I've done a little bit of stuff, but nothing really to write home about. Steve just left. He brought me some parts, and I'm going to go over that. He's run into an issue. His back seat has been at his house for his 55, and his upholstery in his car originally, somebody had done that car up probably in the 90s, and it was tweed. It had gray tweed interior. Now, it had Chevelle, like muscle car Chevelle bucket seats in the front, and it had the original back seat. He ended up selling the Chevelle seats, but he kept the back seat, obviously, for his car, and then he found a front bench seat out of a 55 that we actually is here. So he bought a seat cover kit from Ciadella for his car. He got 1959, I think is what he said it was, Chevy Impala, whatever you want to call it, vinyl, and it's a copper pearl looking vinyl and pearl white vinyl in tuck and roll. So the seat cover has the 55 factory Bel Air little dip in the center of the seats and the covers for the front and rear bench seats, but it's two-tone, white on the top and the copper in the center. Looks really awesome. He brought the covers over and we looked them over. Now, I'm not doing the upholstery on the car. He's going to do that, I think, him and his wife. But anyway, he brought the back seat bottom because after he removed the covering from it at his house, I think it was yesterday or day before, there's some issues. I'll go ahead and show you. So he called me last night. Anyway, he brought it over for me to look at it. And this is it right here. This is a seat bottom. This is what somebody had put in the seat here after he got the cover off, but you can see the end is rotted away right here. The wire is paper thin right here, man, and there's a few clamps that are broken here, but there's a whole piece right here that's gone. So this was rusted away, and there's another little spring piece that goes right here, and it's partially rusted away. It's laying in there. Anyway, a lot of the frame is paper thin, the main wire frame around it. So anyway, I want to know if I could go in here with some wire, or rod, I guess, steel rod, and, shape it and weld it in and that type of stuff. And the intricacy that would be involved in doing this, like where the hog rings go on, there's some of them that they're just gone. So this side of the car, it must have sat for years outside with the quarter window down or something, and the material just stayed wet all the time and it just rotted away. Or this end of the seat was laying on the ground in a river or something. I don't know. But anyway, the thing about it is it's hard top. It's a hard top only rear seat bottom. I don't think these are the same for a convertible. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I don't know that 100%, but the convertibles, it has a wider pocket here, I think, for the convertible top to go into. So Don at Don's Hot Rod Garage could probably tell me if he happens to watch this video. But anyway, I think the hard top is the only rear seat bottom that will work in these cars. I know sedan won't for sure. And in case you don't know, like a two-door sedan or a post car and a four-door post car, even their seat bottoms are not the same on the rear seat. The four doors have a rounded corner and the two doors have a square corner like a hard top. But a hard top rear seat bottom is narrower because they have metal wide sheet metal ashtray or armrests that go in here with an ashtray in the top of them. So that's why these are narrower than sedan. But I know Pontiac and Chevy is identical, and When he called me and talked to me, I looked at a video this morning that I have in my salvage yard playlist from Perky's, because there is a Pontiac two-door hardtop, and I remember seeing one of the pieces of the back seat was still in that car, but I couldn't remember if it was the bottom or the seat back, and it ended up being the seat back in the video. I watched it this morning. So anyway, we need to replace this. And now, no doubt I can do anything I need to do with metal to this. I can completely go in here and reframe this and everything with rod, no doubt. But do you have any idea the labor that would be wrapped up in that? So there's no reason. Look how thin that wire is right there. There's no reason for me to go in there and spend, you know, 10, 15, no telling how many hours in redoing all this. So I suggested doing it like most hot rod shops do nowadays. Most hot rod shops will build their seat frames out of wood and foam. That's it. Nobody messes with springs anymore. So I suggested it be done out of wood with some foam on it. So I asked Steve if he knew how to do woodworking, and he said he can, but it's not his forte, so to speak. Anyway, I walked over and rang the doorbell at my neighbor's house, and he come over and checked it out, which he is a wood guy. He knows how to do woodworking. And he said that he could duplicate that out of wood. And what I mean is, it's just going to be MDF, you know, a bottom, a front, and sides, and probably a little small back, and then he's going to put some supports in there. But that cover, foam needs to go on it, and then the cover. That's it. So I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It doesn't need to be sunk in here. It doesn't need to be open down here. We just need to make sure it clears the cross brace on a hard top back there. But he's going to come over, and I'm going to set this inside the car one day, next day we have a nice warm day, and set it down there and let him get a good idea, a good look at it. But anyway, we're just going to build it out of wood. But I'd actually seen an episode of Iron Resurrection, and they work on a 55 two-door hardtop. I think it's called El Chile or something. And Kato actually built that seat bottom. I think he built the front and the back seats out of wood and foam. So anyway, and they do it a lot in that show. I'm a big fan of Iron Resurrection. But and you know, people have been doing it like that for decades. But anyway, I don't see the point in trying to spend that much money on a spring seat bottom when it can be made out of plywood and, or well, MDF and then foam. So that's the route he's going to go. It's going to be a lot cheaper. But anyway, that's what we're going to do, because I had, probably about 10 years ago, maybe longer than that, I had a hardtop back seat, both pieces, and I sold them used with no covering on them. And I think it was $300 or something like that, $250, I don't even remember. So I don't know what one would cost now, but anyway, that's how we're gonna get past that. So I got the carpet. He did bring the carpet because the shifter is a floor mount shifter, and I have to put a boot on it and all kinds of stuff, so I needed the carpet. And he got ACC carpet kit, but this is actually Daytona. Now, you guys that have been watching the videos on the car, he already had a carpet kit for the car, but it was black cut pile. Well, now he has copper Daytona weave carpet. So how cool is that? And he got the matching floor mats with the crest embroidered in them. So this is just a little bit darker than the color of his car, and I think it's perfect. I think it's a perfect complement to that car. So I'm in love with that carpet. I wanted Daytona for my car, but I couldn't swing it. I was trying to build my entire car on a limited budget, so I had to just go with the cheap cut pile stuff. But anyway, that's pretty cool. He's got his upholstery stuff, and Ciadella made the seat covers, and they sent those. They are in the process right now of making the door panels. He bought just the finished door panels where all you gotta do is put them on. Like, they're gonna have the stainless trim on them and everything, and the matching tuck and roll copper and white two-tone. So it's going to be a beautiful interior, and I think his headliner is going to be the white, pearl white vinyl. But anyway, they're doing all that stuff right now. They haven't finished that, but they did send out the seat covers. And if you're seeing that right there, there's the air cleaner. He brought this. That was one of my things before. It had a ball milled, like a 1990s era air cleaner on it with a drop base, and we need a flat base to clear the coil and all that stuff. And I found this at Amazon for 69 bucks, and it comes with a washable cotton gauze filter. And this is an identical match with the gray insert and the polished tops as his valve covers. So that is awesome. I absolutely love the look of that engine now. That was what it needed right there. So pretty cool stuff. Anyway, now I'll show you what happens to your car when you leave it outside, because I have to pull my car out to work on Steve's car. And if it's misting rain, or if like snow's melting off my roof and dripping down, this is what happens to your paint on your car. So yeah. So my car's covered in dust, but I haven't been able to do much anyway, because we've had a lot of stupid rain, and we even had a little bit of snow and stuff. So, and then with her having that surgery, I've had to take a couple weeks off. You know, family comes first, you know what I mean? But anyway, should be able to be getting back into the groove here pretty quick, I hope. But I think that's about it. There's nothing else really to report. So just thought I'd give an update, talk about what's going on, show some of the stuff that came in. He's got his seat shells for his front bench seat. He's had those four pieces at his house this whole time, and he took the material off of them, and the seat shell lower on the driver's side, the whole bottom's rusted away on it. So he needed a new one of those. And I got in my attic while he was here, and I dug out, I have a pair of these. Well, I didn't know at the time these were for the exact same side, but anyway, these are for a 57 four-door. And in case you don't know, a 57 has kind of its own seat setup. You know, like the back's a little bit different, and the seat shells are different for a four-door. But 55 and 6 is the same. Now 55 and 6, four-door, this is a seat shell for that. Four doors have a one-piece shell, a hardtop or a two-door bench seat. These are two pieces because the seat back has to fold forward. So I got one of these out of my attic here, this one here, and I was thinking I have to have this one for my wife's car, but I think I have an extra one in my attic, or my shed. These are spot welded right here, and his seat shell, looking at it, has this flange in here, and I think these are the same as a four-door. These just has this spot welded to it. You can see where it's two pieces. So if I have another four-door piece, like his whole bottom's rusted away, I'm just going to drill those spot welds out and give him this piece. So I need to go out to my shed and dig around. But what he's also missing is the two stainless trim pieces that go right here. There's a piece of stainless that goes here with a peak on the end of it. And these 57 seat shells I had in the attic, even though they're the same side, this stainless steel trim piece is the same for both sides. You just turn it upside down for the other side. So it has a point on one end and it's curved there. And I took it off of this one while he was here, but I still got this one to get off of that one. But I'm going to have to sand and polish these for him, but at least they're not beat up, which is nice, because you can't really get on the back of these to knock the dings out for a 57 one. 56 and 7 has a back in there that these ears come out of. 55 had tabs that are actually welded to it. So if you do have a ding in a 55 one, you can hammer them out and sand them and polish them. But these ones like this, if they have a ding in them, they have this back in there, and you really can't get to it to get the ding out of them. So these are nice. They just need sand and polish. But I gave those to him because I have them off of these seat shells. And I have a lot of these here for the bench seat. And I need a mint set for my wife's four-door. I think I already have them picked out and taped together. So anyway, I need to go to my shed and dig around and see if I have another extra seat shell, because those are for my wife's car, because those are really, really nice. But I need to see if I have another driver's side four-door seat shell, and if I do, I'm going to drill the spot welds out and give him that lower. So, you know, me having them spare parts is really, really came in handy for his car. He's ran into a few things of not having stainless trim. Now, another thing, I found these the other day and I got them out, and I'm glad I did, because these are hardtop only. Well, actually, they may be convertible too, I don't know, but I've never had a convertible, guys, so I can't really speak on a convertible. But on a hardtop, on your armrests for your rear seat, they curve. When you open the door, there's a curve there, and these go on there, and they're a continuance for the lower stainless strip on the door panel. So if he doesn't have these are from my car. I didn't put the lower stainless on my car. I like it better without them on this Resto Mod style car. But if he got those door panels from Ciadella and they're going to be complete with all new stainless, it's going to have the upper stainless and the lower, so it'll have to have these on the back. I guess it doesn't have to, but I'm going to go ahead and sand and polish these and straighten the tabs out and give them to him, and he can put them on there too. So anyway, I'm giving him those pieces of stainless. I don't know if they reproduce those. I don't even know if they reproduce these lowers for the seat shells. I haven't ever looked because they're same as a 4-door. But anyway, I gave him those as well. And then if I have a seat shell, I'll get from a 4-door, I'll give him that one. But anyway, that one he's got is rusted out on the bottom, which if you just clean it up and put Pour 15 on it and then wrap it, no one's ever going to know there's a rust hole in there. But it might have a little indent in it after it's upholstered. It could have, you know what I mean? So anyway, I'll hopefully have another one because I'm a little bit OCD and I don't like that stuff. I'm not going to put something rusted out on the car, you know what I mean? But I'm not doing the upholstery, so I can't, you know, judge that side of it. Here's part of the spring from the back seat. See how thin it is on that end? It's just, that bottom's, it's rough. It'd take a lot of effort for me to go in there with some steel rod. First, I'd have to go find some steel rod and purchase it. And that has to be hourly pay, you know what I mean? So it would end up being a lot of money for that to be repaired over trying to find a used one, or just build it out of wood and put foam on it. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. I recommended that seat bottom be 1 inch narrower, so it's not as tall by 1 inch. So like when he builds this frame out of wood, make it to where it's 1 inch lower, and then we'll buy some 1 inch either dense or medium density foam and put on there. And then Ciadella is supplying him the foam kit for the seats. So it'll be the 1 inch of foam with foam on top of it, whatever the thickness of the factory is, which I think is 1 inch also. So it'd end up being 2 inches complete. So anyway, Steve said the only people that's gonna be riding in the back of his car is the grandkids. So it's not like it has to be perfect back there anyway. So that is how that's gonna get done. And I'm with him on it. I think that's just the way to go. If it was my car, it's exactly what I would do too. So anyway, I'm not going to sit there and try to get all them seat springs all bent back in shape and re-welded stuff and build a frame and all that. Heck with that, man. Just put some wood together and put some foam on it and put the cover on it, staple it down and call it a day. You know what I mean? No one's going to know when you look in that car. And that's the way most hot rod shops do them now, so there's nothing wrong with that. So anyway, there's your update. That's what's going on. Thanks for watching.